So Final Fantasy has officially turned 37 years old as of last December, and what a better way to celebrate it than revisiting its 3D fighting games, which feature a large cast of the past Final Fantasy characters. For the sake of this retrospective, I'm going to be starting with Dissidia 012 because it remakes a lot of the first game's story. It's basically like an expansion to the first game anyways. The first thing we're going to do is go ahead and check out story mode in this game. Overall, there's two main scenarios in this game, with one covering the new cast of characters added to the game, and the other scenario lets you play through the original story. Overall, I would say the game's story is nothing to write home about. It's basically a stereotypical anime game type of story where characters battle against corrupted versions of their allies. The joy comes from watching a lot of the different characters interact with each other. As of making this video, I've only played a handful of Final Fantasy games. I know, I'm a fake fan, but I generally enjoyed watching these characters interact. The main thing that kept me going was the gameplay, and I'm kind of bad at explaining game mechanics, but basically just smash square and pray that you win.
Get him! Get him! Get him!
Jokes aside, the combat is just simple and fun. You can even grab this bell thing with wings and use it to go into a super mode which buffs your attacks and allows you to use an ultimate attack. These are pretty cool, and each has a different button combination that you have to press. It's so nice seeing the level of detail that's present in this game. One of the really cool things about this game too is that you can level up your characters just like in an actual Final Fantasy game. You can also equip items as well. It just makes the fights feel rewarding. It's just jam-packed with content, and after you're done with the story mode, you can also do reports where you can take on more battles and unlock more characters. There's also a mode where you can explore the island in story mode freely and fight. Speaking of the characters, the roster of this game is quite impressive, spanning up to Final Fantasy XIV, I believe. You get to play as a good chunk of the villains too, and this is literally one of the only Final Fantasy games where you get to play as Sephiroth, and who doesn't want to do that? You can also decorate them with different outfits as well that you can purchase in-game. You can buy them in the... Okay, let's be mature here. This game has so much content that it's an absolute must-have for Final Fantasy fans and basement dwellers alike. It's so strange to be reminded of a time when Square Enix actually tried to take risks and do something different. They really poured their hearts and souls into this one tiny little PSP game. It would be a quiet time for Dissidia fans, but then something big happened in 2015. They ruined the fucking franchise. So there's a video by Final Fantasy Union that discusses a lot of the troubled background of this game. This is my retrospective though, and I'm going to be focusing on my reaction to the overall game. These controls. What's happening? There's so much going on. What other character can I select? None of them? Great. What is going on? Where's story mode? This game, I think, had so much potential to be one of the best Dissidia games, maybe even the best Final Fantasy game, but it got squandered. This game looks great, and the overall roster is pretty solid, but everything else about this game is a complete mess. You can take everything I said positive about 012 and throw it out the window for this game. Literally everything else about this game is wrong, with the gameplay now being shifted towards 3-on-3, which doesn't sound bad on paper until you actually play the thing. The amount of HUDs and shit flying across the screen is enough to send me into a panic attack. It somehow takes the simplicity of the first two games and simplifies it down to the point it's not even fun anymore. There's also been a butchering to the summons, which is some type of team attack, which adds even more chaos to the screen. It's incredibly bizarre to move from 012's combat to this. The combat was a huge reason why people kept playing these games, but seeing the characters interact with each other was also another big part. Since they kind of did away with the story mode, you can't really get that anymore either. Which really sucks because the roster in the game is not that bad. If they added characters like Orin or Zack, it would have even been perfect. I don't really know how much better I can sum up this game than a total bummer. There doesn't seem to be much interest in this franchise after it died a miserable death, and that in itself is a tragedy. My only hope is that maybe one day Square can take advantage of the current day scene and try to make another entry. But given how the discussion for this franchise is seemingly dead, I'm not too sure about that. If you would like to support me, I have a Redbubble link down in the description and bio. Also, I have social media pages on Instagram, Twitter, DeviantArt, Kara, and much more. Thanks for watching.